All right, people, welcome back to One Body, episode 7. I'm Kruesi.
I'm Eden.
Today we are joined by our lovely mother, Holle Brock. We have some really fun things to talk about, and let's get into it.
Yes.
We're representing Need Loves, Aloe Hire, and Waypoint.
And
that's really fun. And Expedition. Look all of them up. If you don't know what they are, you should. This is a fun episode. We have our mom on. She's a mother to 6 kids, so we are 2 of them, and she's amazing. So I would explain my mom as a lot of different things. First, an artist, a dancer. She's a creative, very smart, very, very deep thinker and intellectual, and into all kinds of different things. And also very open, like open to anyone's views, which I think we're filming this on September 13th, 2025, after a sad incident on the 10th that everyone knows about where, I don't know, I think it's an important reminder to be open to other people's views, to be able to talk to different kinds of people. We can all learn from each other. No one knows if they're correct, ever, because we're just humans. So, side point. So my mom, Holle Brock, she went to Covenant College, which is up on Lookout Mountain in Chattanooga, where we are now. And she majored in philosophy, but that's not the full story. Say it was a triple major,
transferred in from Vanderbilt and tried to figure out how to best use the hours I was coming in with. And that was philosophy, art, and sociology. So there we go.
Okay. She raised all 6 of the kids, for the most part, up on Lookout Mountain in a really fun and different way. We lived in this big open house with some land. We basically had a farm, a garden. There was always like chickens running around. And then I think the main thing was there was always people in the house other than just our family. Like it was kind of an open door.
Revolving door.
A revolving door. A lot of college students from the area, a lot of people coming through town. My parents just have a big, wide open net of community, and it's really cool to see how they're just yes people. Like they say yes to people.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Also figuring out how to have healthy boundaries around that. I know you've been working on that.
Yeah.
But she homeschooled all of us for some years, which is amazing, and taught us a lot of really important life lessons. She is credentialed in NIA, which is a very fascinating mind-body connecting exercise.
Movement technique.
I like that. Okay. And then more recently got credentialed as a bioenergetics practitioner. We're going to get into that mostly today because it's a very fascinating avenue of health that I feel like I'm only just now understanding. So we have a lot of questions for her. But first, we just wanted to ask some fun questions. What is one thing that you love about being a mom? Let's say one thing that you loved that you didn't expect.
Well, how about this moment right here? Didn't expect this. Amazing. It's the interlacing of where I have gone and then my children have gone and then how they cross paths. You can't predict that, and you don't even think to wonder about that necessarily a whole lot. And then it's happening. And it's just fascinating. I could not have predicted this moment. So this is a great example.
Well, with 6 kids, there's probably a lot more of that too.
There's so much.
Lots of different seasons.
Richer and richer and richer, I feel like. I loved all the dance parties and singing and games and being outdoors. So probably a lot more laughing than I would have done on my own. So I love that.
What was the hardest stage of motherhood?
All of the sleep-deprived seasons, which don't be fooled. It's not only when you have an infant. There's lots of things that can cause you to lose sleep over your babies. But it's a great opportunity to pray. If you're awake in the night, best thing you can do is pray.
What's a piece of advice you have for us and just women in general in our same-ish season of life?
There's a way to grieve the past without carrying the guilt. And there's a way to be really attentive toward the future without being anxious. And truly, the only place life is right now. So, I mean, we've heard it, but I'll just say it again. And maybe just be quick to laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's a wonderful
Laughed at yourself.
quality.
Funny.
That's a wonderful quality. I guess I have
Just laugh.
it. Yeah. Oh my.
I would say my mom, like if someone was like, what's your mom like? I would say like so bubbly and joyful, but it's not like annoying or I don't know, like you're quick to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And like whether it's at yourself or at someone else or at a terrible joke that I made that you actually think is funny.
Actually,
Yeah.
I do.
All right, next question for you. What's one thing you've enjoyed about getting older? How old are you?
I'm 56, 56 years old, and you can't fake it. I've had to live every day to get here. And I'm pretty proud of that. I feel like that's a badge of honor. That's a lot of days. That's a lot of choice. That's a lot of tenacity, vulnerability, failure, success. It's just a lot. So you can't fake the number of years you are.
Wait, you're 56. How long have you been married?
36 years.
And how many years have you been a mother?
34 years. Yeah.
How many years have you been a practitioner of bioenergetics?
3 years.
Ooh, okay.
Come on, one more.
You know you didn't answer the question.
Yeah. What do you
Oh,
like
It was
about
what's
getting
one thing
older?
you've enjoyed about being
okay.
older?
The diminishing tyranny of potential.
Love.
So you think about that for a minute. And usually you think about potential as being a good thing. Oh, so much potential. But when you allow it to have the role of a tyrant in your life and to allow it to keep you in an unsettled or sort of always striving state, then it's actually a tyrant. But the cool thing about getting older, and this is not a defeated thing, and it's hard, I think, for our culture to hear this well. It's a gift. Where I am now is I don't have as much potential for my life as a whole as I did 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And what that is allowing me to do is settle down and do a few things and do them well. So
I like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost like there's less expectations of what you should be doing in this stage of life.
absolutely.
Not like, what do I major in? Who do I marry? What job should I
Yes.
get? Should I have kids?
That's
What
right.
should I do with my kids?
Yes.
Do you think you feel more content at 56 than you did at I'm 31?
Yes.
Wow.
It's a
encouraging.
different
That's hopeful.
it's a different kind of contentment. I think at any stage I hope we could find a sweet place of contentment and where we are. But this is like overarching.
What's one impactful health or wellness habit that you've been practicing more recently that you feel like is making you a better person, healthier person, more in your body?
Nature has always been that for me, but I seem to rediscover nature periodically. So you say new, and it's really not anything new, except of course it's always new. And Wim Hof, I just can't help but mention Wim Hof because that has been a beautiful practice. That
What's Wim Hof?
Yeah.
Wim Hof,
For those who may not
Yes.
know, not us.
okay, is a breathing technique, and it's a process of sort of hyper oxygenation and then just holding an exhale for as long as is comfortable, and it allows your nervous system to kind of settle down, and you're just very still, and it's mind body stuff. So Wim Hof, and also the thing I'm most curious about right now is hydrogen gas
Oh.
and its
Like
health
inhaling
benefits.
it?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Check
You've
it
also
out.
dabbled in a, what's your table?
Inversion table.
Inversion table. That was your gift, your birthday gift last year.
Mother's Day gift.
Mother's Day gift.
Thank you.
Okay,
And my response to realizing my fascia had gotten really tightened. And again, that's something else to look into. Do one on fascia, seriously. And it was causing my joints, especially something in my lower back, and then it was affecting my hip and then my knee. And the inversion table creates that space and helps the fascia stretch out. So I use it every night, pretty much.
I wouldn't be surprised if I walked in to my mom's house unannounced and saw her upside down
Like so at peace.
At
Like,
peace.
hello. I'm like,
I'm up here.
how long have you been like
Up here, down here.
Probably doing Wim Hof upside down.
Ooh, that's an idea.
Or coming home and being like, "Where's mom?" And my dad's like, "Oh, she's grounding." We're like, "Oh, gotcha."
Yeah,
and
that's right.
and you don't always just ground like with your feet in the ground. Like sometimes
Hey,
you are
the
full
more
body.
skin, the better. Just saying.
It helps if
The
you're
more
in,
electrons.
like a wooded area. She's like in the ravine grounding. We're like, yes,
There she is.
there she is.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Fair enough.
All right, wow. Let's talk about bioenergetics. So just open us up. What is bioenergetics? What is helpful for us to know about it?
This is potentially a new category for a lot of people. So a definition that we'll just keep working with is the study, detection, and correction of energy and information in the human body field. So if you think about how all of the layers, the levels of us, we've got the physical, we've got the chemical, the molecular, all that that's going on. But we also have this layer, this level of energy and information. And so another way of saying bioenergetics is to say biophysics. So then another kind of way of conceiving of it is that most of our paradigm around health and well-being is a biochemical approach in the West. I'm now sort of trying to form a coin and say that bioenergetics is the other side of the health coin from the biochemical. So they work in tandem, but this is a layer, a level of us that we are, of course, we've always been this way, but we are now able to look at it more scientifically, I guess is a good way to say it, and also address what we're seeing in more scientific ways.
I feel like you're often ahead of the curve. You're ahead
Curb.
of curb. I don't know what that would be.
Let's say curve.
You're ahead of the curve in lots of things. But do you know when like the concept or study of bioenergetics started to catch more attention? And also, like, when did you first hear the word
Bioenergetics.
Yeah.
Well, in our neck of the woods, I'm going to say like 1960s, 70s. And if you go on the other side of the globe, we're talking about thousands of years. They've been knowing this is true and addressing the human like this. But there's a book called Waking the Tiger, and he observed a gazelle in the wild in the Serengeti, and how a gazelle, if it was attacked, if it broke from the pack and was pursued, but was somehow not caught, but had been chased, it would have this moment where it would kind of be still and then all of a sudden shake all over. And after this shaking session, just go back like nothing had happened. And he started to realize that creature had just dispelled or processed out that fight flight energy that it had just experienced, that had just been activated in its system. And then it goes on like nothing happened. Then he began to look at our Western culture and how we don't do that. And so he started to realize, where is that going in us? How is that affecting us? And really, that was the foundation for everything like the body keeps the score and all of this that we've heard about.
The body keeps the score.
Oh, it's a book. It's talking about how experience stays in our body. If it's not processed out, it stays in our body and then begins to manifest in various ways. So we can think, well, experience isn't a real thing, like it's not a physical thing, and yet we know it's true that experience ends up having an impact, and you honestly can't always predict what it will do or where it will
or when it
be
will
stored,
present itself,
or when it will present itself. That's right. That was the original bioenergetic field and category. More recently, with technological advances, there are some very scientific ways of looking at the same thing.
Yeah, you've answered this somewhat, but like, why should we care about it?
Okay.
So what?
Great question. Should we care about things that are impacting us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
And impacting all of us. What I've learned from you is it's not just someone who's had like a huge traumatic event and maybe has PTSD. It's like we all have blockages or deficiencies of energy somewhere in the body, and it's human.
Yeah.
So I think especially in our culture in the United States, we may be behind in some of the like Eastern cultures of being aware of our bodies and recognizing that and then knowing what to do about it.
that's right. If you're alive, that means you're experiencing life. And we all know that life is not static. Life is dynamic. And it's not even only what what registers to our senses. There's a lot of invisible things happening. And truly, this is a great era for bioenergetics to emerge, because it's not, when we say energy and information, this is everything. So this is everything from your cell phone to the toxins in the environment to food that has artificial ingredients, pathogens, as well as like emotional trauma and patterns, even thought patterns. It's all part of what influences and challenge our body field, our bioelectric body field.
Okay, when you say bioelectric body field, can
Which
you
is kind of redundant, but
okay,
yeah.
Either of those words, what does
Okay.
that mean? Is there a way to like measure your body field, your energy force?
Because when does it end?
Yeah.
Because we all know like the people you're around, the energy suckers and the energy providers that you're around, like you can feel it the minute you're in the room with them. So I'm just curious,
Yes.
like, can you measure that?
And that might not be because of who they are, but how you two are interacting.
How you interpret
Yeah.
their
That's right.
vibe.
Mhm.
Because this might be out there, but there is like entangling that is happening, and therefore responses that are happening. So yes, let's go back a little bit, and we're talking about physical health, which of course is holistic, but kind of the body is the main filter, or the main thing we're talking about. If you think about the different systems, so we've got the digestive tract or the cardiovascular system. Okay, those are made of organs, and then those organs are made of tissues. Those tissues are made of cells.
Can like see this in my biology book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
This is taking
Your
me
yeah.
arrows.
Yeah.
And this is fascinating because we kind of forget to remember. So now we're down to cells. The cells have the different organelles. Everything is in the cell, and the cell is made of molecules. Molecules are made of atoms, right? So now
Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell.
That's right.
I know.
But you can picture it in your book. So now we're down to atoms. Okay, so we can go smaller than atoms. So now we're to the subatomic area. We have this subatomic space in us, and truly the entire world is like this. So this is where your paradigm starts to go, what? Even man-made things, even synthetic things are made of atoms and therefore have this space. Synthetic things are atoms that have been put together in an unnatural way, but still the atoms have this sub level, and there's a lot of space in there. I'm just taking a minute to sort of go there, because I think once you can grasp that, you start to say, oh, this is how this level of energy and information is everywhere. So let's just talk about the body. Matter is structured energy. The model we work with is that physics, and again, it's not the mechanical physics, it's truly getting to the quantum level. Physics directs chemistry. So any of the bonding that happens, atoms to form into molecules, that's all electrical. That all gets into the energy and information that's going. How are they forming up? And then of course from there, biology. We form biology out of that chemical or molecular level. If what is happening on this energy and information level is spot on, then you're going to get healthy, optimal building blocks, and therefore healthy, optimal manifestation of those building blocks. If on that level of energy and information, there's distortion or blockages or exhaustion, that's when you get less optimal results.
Functions.
Yeah.
Almost
Yeah.
feels like this like dissonance, like on a really
Yes.
core level. Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
How can we better understand aging? Like, what's a model
Yes.
of aging?
I think I've learned a lot from bioenergetics, and I'll really use the word accumulation in terms of aging. And it fits with what we were just talking about, because life, like we were saying, is a series of experiences, whether they're physical, mental, emotional, social, and we decide what to do with those, whether it's conscious or subconscious. And so what can happen is that we accumulate things in our bodies, and we know this, mentally and emotionally, we're aware of how the past can affect us. It's also true of toxins and things like that, heavy metals and all of that. Experience has the potential of accumulating in a negative way. It also has the potential of accumulating, in a sense, in a positive way. But if we allow for things to accumulate and cause more on this level of energy and information, distortion or blockages, or exhaust us, so sort of like a car that's broken down in the middle of the road, all the other cars have to go around it. It's energy that's having to be used in a way that's not optimal. It's inefficient. Thank you. That's a great word.
In response to that blockage.
That's
or
right.
Something.
So if you can get the car out of the middle of the road, then everything flows. And again, flow is energy. It's also information, communication in the body field. I think it's a good way to conceive of what can be happening in us if we don't allow ourselves to come back to this design or homeostasis where things are flowing well in us and through us. We'll hold our shoulder tight if we're injured. We'll emotionally withdraw if we feel threatened. All of these things, if we don't do the work to release those things, and again, now you've got to take that to the level of energy and information, then we begin to accumulate, and then we do these workarounds, and it drains our energy.
I'd asked, why should we care about it? But it's like, why wouldn't you? Thinking about the car in the middle of the road. Like, if you had the chance to deal with that or to move it to make it more of a seamless process or more efficient way to work, like, why would you not? But I think we all have those things, even in our house or our daily life, that we're working around. Like, we'll figure out a way, but it's causing some kind of annoyance or inefficiency, or leaving my shoes in the middle of the hall and I'm tripping over them and it's like, oh my goodness.
Great example. Great example.
I'm looking for them less. I'm on time to work. I didn't bruise my knee. Like,
yes.
And, okay, well, that was my next question. Like, tell us about what tools do you have to observe or test this stuff? Like, how are you assessing it? How are you identifying those blockages? Or
we know that there are people with the gift of whether it's the pulse, the heart rate variability, and the strength of pulse, that some people have the gift. I mean, they've had to be trained as well. This is getting into like TCM and stuff like that. But
what's TCM?
Traditional Chinese medicine. The meridians, the chakras, all of that, a lot of us kind of go, ooh, is that real? Is the nervous system real? Yes. So we start to realize there are ways that have been used to measure and conceive of what's going on in us for a long time, thousands of years. Now technology is catching up, and the company that I work with, I'm just so inspired by the people who founded it. They thought out of the box and said, let's try it. We don't just want to respond to symptoms. We want to remind the body field how it's supposed to operate. There's some just beautiful experiments and breakthroughs involved, and they really created a map of the human body field. So the first thing that we do is we can scan. This could be 3 hours of talking about getting into all of that, but in short, there's a way to sort of interview the body field. And when we talk about the body field, it's generated by every little atom. Then you add the molecules that have that little, now it has all the atoms in it. So it's a little energetic set now of the frequencies. Now you put the molecules together, that's a cell. It's got its energetic set of frequencies. So now it's getting more complex. Cells are forming into tissues, organs. So all of that going on is your body field. So the way that our scan works is basically interviews your body field and compares it with the map or the way an ideal human body field should look. So in a chemical, like a blood test, you're making sure XYZ is within a certain range. This is similar in that, and that's where the word resonance comes in.
Oh, gotcha.
If something does not resonate, so it's sort of like interviewing your body field, putting in this frequency, and if your body resonates with it, all's well. You're in the optimal range. If there's silence or if it's distorted, that's a sign that something has gone blank, whether it's distortion or block or exhaustion. There's a lot of reasons why. So from that scan, which has, I mean, Kruesi, you did a scan the other day.
I was going to say, just I can share the experience is like your voice. So you do a voice scan just into the microphone and it picks up on the energy of your voice. When I initially heard that, I was like, I've never heard of your voice really being like that associated with your health or your body. But what's fascinating, I'll just share my experience, because I just did a scan like a couple days ago. I've been having a lot of issues with my gut and overall just feeling kind of inflamed for about a year now. I actually just did a whole big lab panel and I saw some interesting things come up in that, but this scan wasn't aware of any of these things. But it's cool to me because I'm trained very like medically to now see this whole other layer of energy and bioenergetic medicine matching up perfectly with what I just saw in my labs. So my labs from about a month ago showed high levels of inflammation. It showed some autoantibody reactivity, not necessarily meaning that I have an autoimmune disease, but my ANA levels the titers were a little bit high. And then putting that with my symptoms, it showed that I think it's originating from some issues with my gut, either like SIBO or increased intestinal permeability, or maybe like I'm not tolerating a certain food group well over time, and that's caused inflammation. So that's been going on. My mom didn't see my labs. The scan had no idea. I do the scan. I talk into the microphone with my voice, and it comes back with its scan of me, and it's showing these areas of being out of balance, or what's the right term?
Yes. Yeah. Well, priorities. It showed these were the priorities that her scan.
Priority areas, meaning the energy, the health of the energy in that area is not optimal or resonant, was my gut, so my stomach and my intestines, and then my central nervous system being connected to that, and then autoantibodies, like autoimmune. And so I was blown away because I'm like, I mean, I feel it. I saw it in the data in my labs, and I'm seeing it in the data of this bioenergetic scan. So I just thought that was really interesting. And I mean, the scan that she talked me through is like 20 pages or something, and it's very detailed and fascinating. Like you can click on everything and learn more about it. Talk about from there, when you get the scan, how you talk to me about ways I can improve the energy or...
Great.
Yeah.
Yes. And the other part of the scan is mind-body stuff and life journey. So truly, this is counting for not just how things are showing up physically and chemically, but how our emotions and experiences have impacted us. So that's a beautiful aspect of it as well. Okay, so from the scan shows priorities, the body field asking for support in certain areas. And there's two main ways, well, three really main ways that we can support someone according to the results. And one is this little device, and I brought it. It's called the My Health, and it's a bioelectric biofeedback device, but it also has pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, and it also has some proprietary imprinted frequencies. That's probably the easiest way to say it, that are custom responses to whatever the scan shows. So it's like a little jump starter. It can unblock energy flow and information flow and also provides energy. So that's a powerful tool. Then we have what we call infoceuticals that are liquid remedies, and the benefit is not chemical in nature at all. It's made of purified water and electrolytes. It's what is imprinted in the water, and that's basically the same corrective information that the MyHealth has. And this is for long-term resetting. So, if you think of tuning forks, one tuning fork is just still and you activate another one, then this one will start vibrating at the same frequency. And similarly, the infoceuticals bring in the active, like this is what you're supposed to be doing, and sure enough, it responds and wakes back up. So you take those over 3 weeks, and that's the gradual reminding of how your system is supposed to be operating. And then, of course, coaching. I think I'm a cheerleader in a lot of ways, and counselor. Yeah, just on this level, there's so much potential in the best way of change and healing. And oftentimes, there's a study out where cells are like 200 times more responsive to a wave than a chemical. And if we can give that input to someone, how wonderful. Now, of course, we have to participate. You can't keep exposing yourself in the areas that you're trying to heal from. I feel like I've got a really important paradigm and perspective that I really want people to be aware of, and then some awesome tools.
Yeah.
And
the infoceuticals, that would be specific to what showed up on your
Yes.
scan.
There's like 75 different ones. It's everything from polarity to liver field. Some address information flow, some address healing, some address energy increase, like in the different systems. So they're really beautiful.
How might people be already addressing the bioenergetic field, like maybe without even realizing it in daily health habits, or what are ways that people could be more intentional if they don't have access to or aren't going to look into some of these other tools that you offer?
I think we have been given, at least to some degree, some very basic things. So anytime we can get out in nature, the sun is literally a source of energy. The photons that it gives us every day we need that. So as well as the electrons coming up from the earth, as well as just a sense of spaciousness, of breathing deeply, of seeing beauty, all of those things are really, really powerful energetically. And we're reminded, we can't just talk about energy. Energy by itself is just chaos. It's structured energy, and that's where the information comes in. So it reminds us that, the sun rises every day and sets, and it's time to rest. And there's just some very basic rhythms associated with nature that we can't underestimate those. So, sadly, our electric lighting and our tendency to be inside so much, it disconnects us from a lot of that. And I think breath has been, like I mentioned, Wim Hof, and there's so many beautiful techniques, but just the breath is such a wonderful tool. We need it and we can use it. Movement, not just for fitness, y'all. Movement for being alive and being thankful and grieving and expressing joy, all of that. And then I think community and fellowship. To have friends that you can rely on. And then you can get into like nutrition and thought patterns, emotion patterns, all of that. This is life. Like, we get to live it. So there's a lot we can do without any of this fancy stuff. And probably if we did more of that we wouldn't need all this fancy stuff. But we do need the fancy stuff because first of all, we live in the era we live in, and we often don't take responsibility for our life.
So I love that answer, because it's like anyone, doesn't matter how much money you have, where you live, how busy you are, like you can always do these simple things.
Yes.
And I do think they make a really, really big difference.
Yes.
So is there anything else in general about bioenergetics, this whole field of health, that would be fun to talk about, or that you think would be helpful for more people to know?
It really is a paradigm. So it's a way of seeing the world. and life. I look at things differently now, and I think it's really a good way of looking at things. So I encourage people, of course, Google searches, who knows what you're going to find. You'll find a lot of things and it sounds like this isn't real. I'm not going to make further comments about who and why is saying those things, but it's not just about our physical health. It's about relational health. It's about emotional, spiritual health. It's who we are on this earth and the opportunity we have. And when we can see things and the impact we have just by being, because we are impacting our everything surrounding us. we have like maybe a opportunity, but maybe even more so a responsibility. And I use that word carefully, only in the sense that whatever ability we have to respond, it's not some overarching abstract responsibility. It's our real ability to respond is our responsibility.
It seems like it requires a healthy amount of curiosity and intention when doing some of the tools, the concrete tools. They still require a good bit of intention.
Yes.
It's not a quick fix or just a Band-Aid. And I think that relates well to the hope of the podcast of just wanting to create more agencies over our bodies, knowing enough or caring enough to know how to respond well.
I'm so proud of y'all.
High five.
Like y'all, to hear your daughters saying that right there and doing this is just, it's such a gift. So I'm really proud of y'all. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Thank you for being here. If people want to learn more about specifically how you apply bioenergetics, or if anyone's interested in like actually communicating with you and potentially doing a scan,
Yes.
where should they find you?
Okay, so the company I work with is called Energy for Life, and you can look it up,4l.com. And I mean, if you want to put a link in
I will.
my bio, great. Yeah, so now I'm trying to really marry the more original bioenergetics and this more tech-based or science-based bioenergetics. One is the tool, and one is the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
The head and the heart.
The head and the heart. So yeah, so really, that's my big hope, and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I feel like so. Yeah,
Good job.
Thanks.
Cheers to that. All right. Well, thank you for being here.
thank you so
Love you.
much. Yeah, I love you too.
Love you, Mom.
Bye.
Bye.